Ioana Piroska, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
Pleasure to see you again. You came to Norway a couple weeks ago and delivered a fantastic presentation for the ISAC in Norway chapter. So thank you very much.
Welcome.
I first heard of your name through our mutual friend Espen Johansen, who's your security director in Visma. And I forgot we were talking about our topic for the podcast that we had, but he at least said at the end, like, if you want to know anything about bug bounties, we have just a person for her, and she is the mother of hackers.
Yeah.
And during that time period, I was watching the Game of Thrones, so I've always thought of you as the mother of dragons. But I'll never make that comparison again
Not
because you're always
really.
smiling, very
Not
nice.
really.
You're not breathing fire. So, but since you are the mother of hackers, are you proud of your children?
Yes, I am very proud, and you will see because I will share in this presentation some stats from our bug bounty programs and some wonderful reports that we got in time from our unicorns, like Espen likes to always name them. I've been working with this program pretty much since I joined Visma 5 years ago. We have around 4 years and a half since we launched at the corporate level our bug bounty programs, I'm doing this for some time now. So that's why I also started to share the experience and the way we do this program, and hopefully this will help others also.
Cool. Well, the floor is yours, the digital floor.
The agenda for today and what you will be able to learn and see in this presentation are a few things about, in the beginning, a few things about Visma and our security program, which was developed by us in order to help our internal teams to improve their security posture. And one of the services that we offer through VSP is bug bounty and responsible disclosure, which are very similar. So I'll be talking about both of them because I think it's also important to create awareness about responsible disclosure, which is probably the easiest way that companies can have in order to be able to get reports from ethical hackers and have them fixed, of course, in a legal manner. I will also try to emphasize some differences between bug bounty and penetration tests, and also show you some of the most known bug bounty platforms and tools and program types. Currently, we have all the possible program types in Visma on the Integrity platform because we are working with them right now. So I'll be sharing this as well. And you will see how we started and how we are basically built our program and how we are doing it right now. But also some common vulnerability types, which are the most common ones that we get. But also some critical findings. Because probably those are the most interesting and definitely the most impactful. And also, you will see some program statistics in regards of payouts and number of reports. And of course, in the end, I will try to summarize the lessons learned and success factors.
Perfect.
But first, let's start with a few words about our company because maybe not all of your audience heard about Visma. We are a large company and we are top 5. Proud to say that we are top 5 software companies in Europe, and if we speak about cloud ERP, then we are number 1 in Europe. And we've expanded and we started to buy companies also in Latin America, so we operate on both continents. Of course, because we have so many companies under our umbrella, we also have a large technology stack. And our role in the security team, because we have a global security team that is trying to help all these companies, our role is to offer them services that help them achieve this. So that's why we developed a program inside the security team called VSP. It comes from Visma Security Program. As you see here, some numbers so that you have an idea on how big we actually are. So we are operating in both private and public sector. We have applications which are very, very important for these sectors. For example, we have school systems, we have healthcare systems, we work with governments, but also in the private sector with different types of applications. Of course, most of them are ERP applications, but not only. So it's mission critical to protect them and to have a good security. VSP, what does it mean? It means a program that contains different services that protect different areas. So I would say the most important areas that we try to protect, or the main ones, are applications, solutions, infrastructure, and people. And in these different areas, we try to have services which are relevant. And you will see that bug bounty and responsible disclosure, they are part of the applications and the solutions area, and they represent the last layer of verification that we offer. And you see here many abbreviations. These all come from the name of the services that we offer. So for example, SCA comes from software composition analysis, and we are working with SNCC for the third-party component scanning. Then we have static application and dynamic application security testing, partnering with Detectify for Dust and Polaris and Coverity for SAST. We have cyber threat intelligence and log management, and also MAVA, that comes from Manual Application Vulnerability Assessment, and it's actually the internal penetration test that we offer for the Visma companies. All of these need to be done before joining the bug bounty program. And the reason for this is that we don't want to pay for vulnerabilities that we can find ourselves internally. So bug bounty and responsible disclosure comes on top of them.
Very mature program you have going on here. I can, if I can add that.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, different teams, different service owners responsible for all these services, and the final purpose is to help the internal teams to make good security decisions every day. We don't take the decisions ourselves. It's their responsibility to take the best decisions, but what we can do is to help them with these services and guiding them in the onboarding processes for all of these services. But now let's jump into the subject, because I will be speaking mainly about bug bounties today. So I think that most of the audience already is aware about what bug bounty program means. So I will try to focus a bit on the differences on how I see them between bug bounties and penetration tests. And I would say that in my opinion, there are some main differences. And I will just try to explain them. In bug bounties, we speak about thousands of security testers, while the penetration tests are done by smaller teams or even individuals. So, of course, the chances to get more vulnerabilities in a bug bounty program are higher than in a penetration test. Many hackers with specialized skills. There are different areas of expertise that they have, and mainly in the private program where you decide which hackers you want to invite, you can cover the technology stacks that you have in scope. So, and that's how we are doing it in our private program. We try to invite the best ones on the platform, and we try to cover the entire technology stack. Another important difference is the fact that the tests are being performed continuously once you launch a bug bounty program and you launch a domain in a bug bounty program. So anytime they want to test that asset, as long as it's considered in scope, they have the possibility to do this. While in a penetration test, the time is limited. Usually it is for 1 week or 2 weeks, so it's time bound. And also, of course, in a bug bounty program, you pay for the results, while for the penetration tests, you pay for the testing time. So I would say both of them are important. We are doing it in this way. First, the penetration test done internally. Everything that is found needs to be fixed, and only after that they can join the bug bounty program, because in this way we can save some money, we can control the budget. So I think they complement very well each other, and I would recommend to have them both.
Quick question before you leave that slide. So the penetration testers, the in-house ones, they actually do their thing before you let it go live to the bug bounty, correct?
Exactly. This is one of the most
They don't.
important
Yeah.
requirements. You will see later in the presentation, because I will have a slide also with the other services that they need to they need to be onboarded on. But a penetration test, it is the internal penetration test is the most important, I would say, because yeah, it's very similar with what the hackers will do in the bug bounty program. So then we are doing this first.
How do they feel about it? How do they feel about the fact that like yeah, once they do their job, somebody else comes in and they find a bunch more? They must be very very humble people.
Yes, indeed. So I would say that this, yeah, might maybe generate some discussions sometimes, and the idea is that if you have a good collaboration together with the team, with the penetration testing team, then the things go smooth. And yeah, sometimes, for example, we. For the assets or domains or the product teams that are very big, we are very much analyzing the findings and discussing them with the penetration testers. And sometimes we don't onboard them immediately and just wait to have them better tested. So yeah, it's a collaboration, and also sometimes we ask for technical expertise from our penetration testers inside the bug bounty team, because there are, yeah, different types of vulnerabilities that maybe we are not so familiar with, and then we need some technical expertise, and we have it available on their side. So yeah, I would say the key is teamwork.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see there being some tension there every once in a while. But I
Indeed,
guess you've
this
been doing this
can
for 5 years,
happen.
so
Yeah,
you've.
but I think with communication and yeah, with a good relation and a good collaboration, this can be bypassed.
Cool. I have more questions, but I'll let you go in the presentation. We'll come back to those.
Okay. Um, some of the most known bug bounty platforms and tools. So you probably heard about most of them. We luckily had the chance to work with both HackerOne and Integrity. We've been with HackerOne for the first 2 years when we started and we launched our programs, and we decided to move to Integrity after that. The reason for this was that Integrity is the biggest bug bounty platform in Europe. They've extended a lot since we started to work with them. And from the collaboration perspective and administrative tasks, it was more easy like this. We are in the same time zone, and we have a direct Slack connection with them. So we are communicating every time it's needed, and they are very responsive and very close to our needs, I must say. So it was, yeah, it was a smooth migration from HackerOne to Integrity, also having into consideration that most of the hackers that worked with us on HackerOne decided to follow us on Integrity as well. That was very nice. And some of them we are still working together since, yeah, since then. Some of the most common tools that they use, I would mention Burp Suite. We are working a lot with it, also our developers, but also us in the triaging team for being able to reproduce the reports, and also some other types of tools like web fuzzing tools like FFUF, for example, or Nmap, Nuclei, Axiom, so on. But most of the reports that we get are written with the help of Burp Suite. Now, regarding the program types, there are different types that a company can publish in the bug bounty platform. Public, private, responsible disclosure programs, which are also public programs, or even live hacking events. We have had the chance to have them all. Currently, we have a private program and also a public one. Most of the assets are added in the private program, and the reason for this is that there are some limitations in a public one. For example, in Visma, most of the product teams need to pre-create the accounts in order to be able to have them available for the hackers to test. So that means that you cannot really do this in a public program because there is no limitation in the number of testers that will join. Basically, the entire community can see your public program and can participate into it. So then that's the limitation. And another reason is the very good quality that you get in a private program, because there you have the possibility to choose which hackers you want to invite. So our approach is to start in private and move in public only the teams that have the possibility for self-sign-in, meaning that they can provide instructions for the hackers and they can self-create their accounts and be able to test. So that's how we are doing it, but since most of them don't have this possibility, then most of the domains are added in the private program. Speaking about responsible disclosure, this is also a public program where the entire community can submit reports. What is different is the fact that in responsible disclosure, everything that Visma owns is considered in scope. So if they find an asset, a vulnerability on the internet and it's related to Visma, then they are able to submit this. And important, we do not offer money for responsible disclosure because you cannot control the budget, and it's such a big company that the costs will be immense to be able to pay for everything. So then we don't offer money, but what we offer is Hall of Fame as a sign of appreciation for all the valid reports. And also if they submit medium plus, everything above medium as severity, then they get a €50 swag voucher. And we've noticed that since we launched and made available the responsible disclosure program on Integrity platform, we have lots of valuable submissions, and the activity has increased a lot since then, because it was not published from the beginning there on Integrity. We had it published on the Visma Trust Center on our webpage. Now, regarding live hacking events, these are very cool events that companies can have. And we had the chance to organize two of them. One was during the pandemic and it was an online event, and the other one was a physical event last year with the economic team, which is one of the biggest and important teams in Visma. So what happens in a live hacking event? You invite a bunch of hackers, of course, you invite the best ones. We had around, I think, 30 to 40 hackers invited in our events, and you give them the scope, the rules of engagement and the policy, and they are able to search for vulnerabilities in a very short amount of time. But what's different from a normal program, it's of course the fact that it's time limited, and the fact that it's a competition and a direct dialogue between hackers and sometimes also the product teams, like it was in our case. So because they get special awards and special bonuses, it becomes very engaging, and it's really like a competition. So the value of this is the fact that you get very good quality, high number of submissions in a very short amount of time, meaning that you are able to secure assets very fast.
I would assume that's kind of intense for the product team as well. They're sitting there and hoping that nobody finds something, but something gets found and they're like, ah.
There are many submissions. At least in our case, in both of the events, we had a lot of submissions in a very short amount of time, only 2 weeks of live hacking, and it's intense for everyone. It's intense for the hackers because they work day and night sometimes. It's intense for the triaging team and also for the product teams. But at the end of the day, when you draw the line and see what valuable it was, it's definitely worth all the effort.
Awesome.
And let me say a few words also about responsible disclosure. As I already said, there are different types of ways to publish a responsible disclosure program, either self-published on the company website or on the bug bounty platform itself as part of it. We have them both, but we started with our website first for a few years, and after that we decided to launch it. It was in 2022, beginning of 2022, when we decided to launch it on Integrity as well. We have a swag store from where the hackers can take can use their vouchers and can take different items as a sign of appreciation, and also a page on our trust center where we list all the security researchers that sent us valid reports. And if you look at the stats, I would say, even if the quality is not so good, like in a private program, for example, or in a bug bounty program in general, because here they are not really motivated by the money, you get many reports, and out of those many reports, there are also many reports that are valuable and valid. And I checked the stats for this presentation, and you see here that we have more than 800 fixed reports due to responsible disclosure. That means that those were valid reports, and the internal teams had the chance to fix them before being exploited, and more than 70 criticals also. So this could have huge consequences if not surfaced as a result of this program. So there are challenges also. Like, for example, in our case, the most difficult is to find the responsible adult behind a certain asset sometimes. Being such a large company, sometimes it's a struggle to get to the person which is responsible for a certain domain. But we try to overcome these challenges, and for example, we created a framework that updates the database with the Visma owned assets on a daily basis, and this is now pushed all in a tool called Visma Hubble, where we gather all the information about different security services and all the Visma product teams, legal units, so everything related to our security program is there in this tool, including the asset owners, where it's possible. Bug bounty journey. We started small, and we've expanded the program gradually, and this is how we are doing it also right now, because you cannot have everything added into the scope from the beginning. This would be hard for a company like Visma. First attempt was in 2016 in Finland, when we launched a private program with some domains from Finland. We immediately started to get reports, also critical ones, so it was really valuable, even if it was so small. And then in 2019, it was decided to launch it at the corporate level. So we started to create awareness about this, to define an onboarding process, to explain the teams that were considered good candidates to join the program, to explain the entire process and how we will work. And then by the end of first year, we had around 30 product teams already added into the scope. And after 1 year, we were able to also launch the public program. Then in 2021, we moved to Integrity. Everything was migrated. And we've also managed to develop a tool for managing the credentials that were sent to the hackers. And in 2022 and 2023, we were able to also organize life hacking events and to expand the scope continuously. Plus, we changed the way we approach the budgeting, and I will speak about this later as well into more details.
Yeah, 7 year sort of journey to get to where you are today, though.
Well, yes, if you consider also the launch in 2016, I always take as reference 2019, the year when we launched it at the corporate level and when we started to
Properly. Yeah.
inform everyone about this. Requirements. Yes, we do have some requirements for the teams that want to join the program. And I would say the most important one is to have zero known vulnerabilities when they join, meaning that after they perform internal security tests like SAST, DUST, SCA, internal penetration test, or maybe they have responsible disclosure reports which are not yet fixed, they need to fix everything that was found with these tools and services. And when they join the program, clean up their vulnerabilities as much as they can, so that we avoid to pay a lot of money for them. After that, they need to prepare the environment. There is some work in regards of the environment that will be used for testing. We usually recommend to go live with a staging environment or testing environment and not with production, just for safety reasons. And most of them also need to pre-create the accounts. And also very important is that they need to commit to be fast with the validation of the bugs. Maximum 4 business days we require for the validation, and also with fixing the bugs. Of course, if we speak about critical ones, then they have 5 business days, but usually they fix them in 1-2 days. So yeah, they really take it seriously when we speak about critical ones.
I really like the that process you have around the zero known vulnerabilities. It's like that saying shit in, shit out. It's like no shit in, no shit out. You're like making sure that everything is, and that's also maybe a good like prerequisite for such a program. You have to have a feeling that you have zero known vulnerabilities in whatever you're going to be testing.
Exactly.
Right?
So why paying for
And
them, and if we already have services that can prevent them, right? So yeah, that's how we do
that's cool.
it. In terms of preparing the internal teams, I think that's also a very important step when launching a bug bounty program, or when launching an internal team that will participate to this. I think it needs to be very clear in regards of what should they expect after they join. And how they will need to work on the reports, and which are their main responsibilities after they join the program. So we always tell them that speed is very important, and they need to have resources allocated for validating the findings, and after that, of course, for fixing the bugs. The reason for this and is that in this way we maintain the hacker engagement by accepting the reports and paying them immediately after they have been validated, and not waiting until they are fixed, because sometimes it takes months until a vulnerability is prioritized and fixed. So that's why we try to be as fast as we can with the validation and paying them immediately after that. Also, what we've noticed, and we also tell the internal teams about this, is that we are more busy with the new domains launched in the first 2 weeks. After that, it starts to settle down, because the low-hanging fruits, of course, are discovered immediately. They do test continuously, also the old domains, and we try to have also sometimes campaigns for making them test again and come back to old assets. But usually the busiest weeks are the first ones. So also very important is to explain that it is normal to get vulnerabilities. Here we are not blaming anyone. We are on the internet, and vulnerabilities are there, present on most of the applications. The most important is that through these programs you have the chance to know about them and to fix them before they are being exploited in the wild. So that's the main idea with the bug bounty program in general. And then working on the reports, in our case, it's pretty easy, I would say, because there's a real-time synchronization from Integrity to Jira. We cannot give all the developers or all the people from the internal teams access to Integrity. So then we have a project, a bug bounty project in Jira, which is available for everyone internally, regardless if they are part of the program or not. They have access to the findings because we want them to learn from this. So then the reports are synchronized in real time, and how we work, it's through comments. The internal teams, after if they have an important update, like for example, they have checked the report, or I don't know, they have questions, maybe something is not clear and it needs clarification, then they just post a message in Jira, we see it, and we communicate in Integrity with the hacker. So there's one-to-one synchronization from Integrity to Jira, not the other way around.
I would assume this is like it's a free way. It's like the free security awareness for developers, right? Because I feel like all our developers have a very, very, very healthy relationship to security now, because they know that, okay, if I just
Exactly.
if I do something not very ideal here, I'm definitely gonna hear it back later, right? So it's like
Exactly. So,
yeah,
and
a
also
motivator.
giving access to this project to the rest of the developers that are not directly involved in this, it has learning purposes, because it's not a secret internally. They can just go and check, see how the hackers were able to find and what they were able to find, maybe which are the most common types of vulnerabilities, and they have the chance to look in their application after the same type of bugs, even if they are not part or not yet part of the program.
Yeah, awesome, cool.
Yeah, so regarding automation, we also needed to take some measures in this sense. And I would say the most important part is the fact that we've automated the credentials management and the way we deal with the credentials provided to the hackers. In the beginning, we used to do this manually and send them in an email based on a Google form the credentials that they needed, because we had the list pre-created from the teams that were supposed to be added in the program. But since we've expanded the scope a lot, this was not anymore scalable, so we needed to do something about this. And since we have a development team as part of our security team, we developed a tool called Bug Bounty Self-Service Portal with a very simple interface. We just upload there the list of credentials that we get from the product teams, and the hackers can log in with their integrity.me right now email address, and they can self-claim the credentials for the domains where they need them, and also, of course, have access to them anytime they want. They are there, they just log in and have the credentials there. It's an open source tool, so if there are companies that want to use it, it is published on GitHub. And yeah, we are continuously improving it, of course. And I must say that probably it's among the first tools of this type on the market, I think. Also, the guys from Integrity wanted to have an overview, and we had a presentation and explained how we did it.
They're probably mad at you for making it open source. They're like, damn it, we should have made that.
No, I
Cool,
just think
awesome.
they want to improve, and it's, as I said, we are always sharing everything that can be shared and that can be learned by others. So that's how we deal with this one also, and that's why it's also open sourced.
Awesome.
Then the integration with Jira that is provided by the Bug Bounty platform, also very important. And we've also done a tool for having more customized statistics. We have stats in Integrity as well, but Visma being so diverse and so large, for example, we have product teams that have more applications as part of their responsibility, or more assets added into the scope. And then in order to have a better overview on the costs per team, for example, we needed to customize the statistics, and this is why we developed this tool. Like also, for example, if you want to see the top 10 bug types per team or resolution times or so on, then it's everything available internally, not only in the integrity platform, or where there's only a bunch of people that have access. So we are trying to be transparent from this point of view also with our internal teams. And now let's see which are the most common types of vulnerabilities that we get. I would say that access control problems represent 36%. If you summarize improper access control, privilege escalations, IDORs, 36% from the total types of vulnerabilities that we get are like this. And what is important to mention, these types of vulnerabilities cannot be found with automated tools for scanning, because you really need to understand the application flow and the business logic. You need to make assumptions. You need to have a human mind to be able to test this and find them. So this is one of the added values of the bug bounty programs in general, I would say. We had periods when access control problems were like 50, maybe more than 50% of the bugs that we got. Right now, second place is represented by XSSs with 21% reflected and stored. So yeah, medium severity in general. These bugs are usually medium severity, but we always take into consideration the business impact when we assess the severities. So that's why on the next slide with the critical bugs, you will see that there are IDORs that we also paid as critical, because they had a very high or critical impact. Like for example, modifying the ID of an object, and you are able to have access to all the information from the system. And then, of course, it was an IDOR, but we decided to pay it as critical. We also get different types of critical bugs, like, for example, HTTP request smuggling or remote code executions, probably the most common one. Also, account takeover through different creative methods. Right now, more than 40 critical bugs, all-time stats. So in almost 5 years, we got 46 critical bugs and 137 high-priority ones. I would say that if you look at the entire period, it is rare when we get such bugs. But they could have huge consequences. And luckily, we were able to discover them with the help of the bug bounty and responsible disclosure program, and be able to fix them. But critical bugs are usually submitted by exceptional people. And this is how it is with the report that I want to show you, a very interesting one, which was actually a collaboration of 4 of our best hackers invited in the 2021 online live hacking event. So they were able to submit this beauty. It's a CSS injection. So they found the CSS injection flow in a third-party component called Prince XML, which is an HTML to PDF converter used by one of the product teams that was part of the scope during the live hacking event. And they managed to escalate this to first to local file inclusion, and after that SSRF, and this led to account takeover. So basically they had access to the entire internal API through this, and it was very nice because first of all, it was not only a very good report technically speaking, but also very very well written one. So that's why we decided to increase the severity from critical to exceptional and to pay it accordingly. And of course, after this was addressed to the provider, they fixed it and they released the version 15 of Prince XML fixing this vulnerability, and we were able to speak about it and to allow the hackers to publish also an article about it. And I put here the links to the article also, because it's a very good read up, I think. So yeah, really amazing and creative findings and chains of vulnerabilities that they are able to submit, mainly during the life hacking event, when also they have the possibility to work in a team and to team up.
I just have to say, I love the way you're communicating with them on those mails on the left-hand side. It's
Exactly.
like you're actually talking like a coworker, right? You're like, yeah, happy hunting. I say that all the time, and you're like, love mother, awesome.
True. We try to be friendly with them, and yeah, like because some of them we've been working for years together, and it's very nice also through these life hacking events, because you have the chance to meet them in person, so you get to know them better, and yeah, speak with them and collaborate and so on.
And this, like everything I'm seeing in the left-hand side there, that's the exact opposite of what they usually deal with most companies, right? Like, hey, I'm trying to just let you know you have a problem here, and then some people, like some companies, try to sue them, and then whereas you're like giving them money and they thank you so much and inviting them to events. And
True, and this
much
is
better way
one
to
of the
approach it.
reasons why I also decided to create awareness about the responsible disclosure program, because I think that's the minimum that a company can do in order to be able to legally get vulnerabilities and take advantage of their skills. None of these guys, at least from our experience, they don't do harm intentionally. They are here to help. Yes, they are motivated by the money, but not only. They are also trying to learn new things and to improve their skills. So offering them the possibility to legally report to a company, it's only for the good.
Right.
So yeah, I would
Awesome.
say it's definitely worth it. There's a lot of money, as you see here. We are almost reaching 1 million euro with the bounties paid in the entire period of time since we started with our programs. But that's not much compared to how much the company would have lost if critical bugs would have been exploited, and not only criticals, because yeah, the PR and the image affected, and a lot of money that can be lost, plus customers and yeah, critical vulnerabilities may have huge consequences if they are exploited by the malicious guys.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking like one of those critical bugs could have cost much more than 1 million
Exactly,
euros, you know?
exactly,
And you said you had 400 of them, and that's
exactly.
like,
And
yeah,
we
all the
got
PR,
more
all
than
this.
40
Yeah.
if we speak about bug bounty, not to speak about responsible
Okay.
disclosure, where there are more than 70.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
definitely
But
worth
either way, it's
from this point of view. Maybe you are wondering how much we pay. We pay between 100 and 7,500 per bug, depending on the severity. So 100 is the low one, 7,500 is exceptional ones, more than critical, even more than criticals, which are 3,000. And the global average per team, so the cost per team in the entire period of time since we started, it's around 10K in our case. And you will see why we consider this amount important on the next slide, because here I will be speaking a bit about the costs and which is our approach for this. So in the beginning, when we started for few years, we used to pay the bounties from the security team budget. It was not scalable anymore because the acquisition rate is around 40 new companies each year. So it's not anymore scalable to have the budget only on ourselves and to pay for everything. And then it was decided beginning of this year that everything that goes above 10K will be supported by the teams that are part of the program. If they don't have the money available or they cannot prioritize this, then we put them on hold and remove them from the program, and we are able to add them whenever they are ready. So this approach, it proved to help them to be more responsible and to make sure that they are as secure as possible when they join the program, and also fix the bugs fast after they are part of this. So yeah, they are more responsible and more accountable from this point of view, because now they will need to pay if they want to remain in the program.
How has that been for them? Like, how many different like teams are in the program? I think you said
There
that
are
before,
not
but
many teams that were removed because of this. And there are, I would say
yeah.
that we started with this approach beginning of 2023. And there are already teams that reached this amount and decided to continue, and they were able to secure the money. I think we have 2 or 3 teams that were removed temporarily, but all of them want to rejoin. So as soon as they will have the money available, they will be back in the program, because they've seen the value of
Yeah.
it and they definitely want to rejoin.
Yeah, so you've managed to make security like oh, we want to be a part of that program.
That's the
Like
idea.
yeah.
Not to force
And if they
them.
fall out of it, they're kind of like, oh no, we have to fix it. Like but it's something that they're motivated to. Yeah, I'm just amazed that you've actually managed to like turn around that security awareness thing where people want to be secure and they fight for it, and yeah,
Yes, that's a culture in Visma. I've seen
that's a
this
very cultural
since I
thing. Yeah,
started. Yes.
that's awesome.
And I like to say that it's a successful program. And I've identified here the main things for this, for making it a successful one. I must say that it's very important to be fast when you launch a bug bounty program. In order to keep the engagement and to motivate the hackers, then you need to triage, you need to pay as soon as you can, and also to fix the bugs, because otherwise there will be a lot of workload on the triaging team side, but also on the product team side, like searching for duplicates and so on. It's important to have the bugs fixed as fast as you can, but from the hacker's perspective, the most important is to pay immediately after you validate the bug, and don't make them wait too much. Trying to be fair and consistent with decisions, acting in the same way, in the same situation, I think it's very important. And keep this standard continuously in the program. Plus, organize special events like live hacking events and maybe different campaigns for engaging them even more. And trying to be responsive and support them with everything that you can. Sometimes they have problems logging in the applications, or sometimes they are unsure about different things that are or not in the scope, and then there's a continuous collaboration and exchange of opinions in our reports where it's needed. And last but not least, I would say it's very important to be transparent. In order to get the most of these programs, you really need to communicate and create awareness internally. Give them access internally to the findings, so that they can read the report and learn from them. But also be as transparent as possible with the hackers, because this is how you build trust. And same with the customers. We speak about these things and share, as you see, stats and numbers, just because we want to help others. When there's no secret, and we can share information, we take the chance and do this as often as we can.
Awesome. What do you know about these hackers? Like their backgrounds, like if you have any, like in general, are they? Yeah, you said most of them are in Europe. Do they have like pen testing jobs on the side, or are they, like what if you just think about in general, who are they?
Well, some of them are doing this as a normal job, so fully working on bug bounty programs. I would say most of them do it as a hobby, additionally to their actual job. Not all of them are from Europe. We have hackers also from other continents, so there are not really big restrictions in this sense. They just need to follow the platform guidelines and policies, and also our policies. And of course, in private, we do a kind of checkup and try to also collaborate with integrity in this sense, because they have a better overview on their background, and we try to invite hackers specialized in different technology stacks, and of course the best ones on the platform according to their reputation. So it can be a full-time job, but I would say most of them do it as a hobby. Some of them are beginners. If we speak about public programs and responsible disclosure programs, then yeah, they find the most easy vulnerabilities out there, and just do it for learning purposes.
Right. Your pen testers, are they like have they developed like relationships with any of the with any of your children, I'll call them?
Actually, we had the chance to put them in touch. There was a period of time when we invited the penetration testers to have the bug bounty experience and work on the report. So for a few months, they were working together with us in the triaging team, and they were collaborating together with the hackers. So they were in touch, yes.
Healthy competition.
I wouldn't say it was a competition. I think they improved their communication skills. I mean, our penetration testers as well, and they've seen different perspective as well. So I really hope they enjoyed it, and but because they are very busy, and because we have so many companies that need to be tested, this that it was on long term, it was not possible to continue with this. So that's why
Yeah,
we developed the triaging team.
exactly. Last question. Are they the same hackers as now as there was in the beginning? Have they sort of like followed Visma throughout your uh, their journey with
Uh,
this?
Most of them, yes. We have hackers
Yeah.
that we've been working on also on Hacker One, like more than 4 years ago, and they are still active in our programs in integrity. Also in the live hacking events, all of them that were invited accepted the invite. And for example, last year they traveled to Copenhagen in order to meet us. Uh, so it
Cool.
was, yeah,
That's
really,
awesome.
it's a really nice relationship, I would say. And speaking about this, this is the proof that you see here on this slide. It's the proof in regards of the speed uh, of the triaging team, because compared to other companies from the integrity platforms, you can see here the averages of days to accept, to decide by the company, the days to triage, and also the fixing times, which is actually the merit of our product teams, because they are the ones fixing the bugs, as you see, half of the time compared to others. So really proud of this one.
So Visma has actually managed to make security. I haven't met any of your salespeople and I haven't seen their sales presentation, but I would assume they use security as one of their unique selling points when they talk about the products.
Exactly.
Is that the case?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, Now, regarding lessons learned, I try to summarize here some of them. I would say that the most important is that bug bounty culture isn't about blaming others, about blaming products that get vulnerabilities. Um, so the idea is that, as I also explained earlier, um, chances to have vulnerabilities are high because we are exposed, we are on internet. This industry evolves a lot and very fast, so chances to introduce for also new vulnerabilities into your source code are high. And our responsibility as security people, and also as product teams is to try to avoid them and to try to take advantage, for example, in our case in Visma, take advantage of all the services that are offered in order to become as secure as possible. And bug bounty is one of the ways of doing this. There's a lot of teamwork indeed. Sometimes we need to collaborate also with the SOC team because there are critical reports that we get that need more investigation because you need to verify the logs, you need to get in touch with the responsible guys and make the source code and the logs available so that it is being checked to see if there are signs of exploitation before us getting the report from the ethical hackers. Sometimes you need to have a hacker mindset to look at this from a hacker perspective. And I think the internal teams that are participating into the bug bounty program had the chance to see how they think and what mistakes they have made and try to avoid them in their future development, hopefully being as secure as possible from the design phase. But everything led to an increased confidence. They managed to fix what has been found and they are more confident. The most difficult thing is the stress management. There's a stress condition on our side when we see a big amount of reports for new teams or maybe sometimes critical findings. Also, the product teams can become stressed of this crisis situation sometimes. But with good collaboration, communication, and teamwork, we can overcome them.
Cool. Ms. Piroska, thank you so much for sharing all of your wealth of knowledge with us today. I think Visma is by far one of the most mature companies on the security side that I've ever seen. So that's
I may agree with this,
hats
and
off
I'm
to
happy
you.
to be part of this.
A big part of it. So thank you for sharing your knowledge with us and take care of your children.
Thank you. I will.
Good. Okay, ciao.
Bye, Robby.